What's up guys? In this video, we're going to talk about the greatest fear you face in poker. We're going to go deep today. I'm going to challenge you to think about poker, your life, and yourself in your relationship with poker going forward. I want to uncover a few of the hidden fears that are holding you back and that are stopping you pushing on to your full potential. For some of you, this will be new stuff and you'll not have any clue until you've watched this video that this was what's holding you back. For some of you, you'll be aware of this and it'll give you the catalyst to start exploring these concepts in more depth after this video. All right, so hopefully there's takeaways for all of you guys, no matter where you are as you're watching this. So to set the pretense, I want to create a bit of an avatar of a standard poker player. Obviously you guys are individuals, so I'm not gonna get it perfect, but I've worked with hundreds of poker players now over the past 3 years, and I've got a good idea of a lot of similarities that we share. Myself, I played poker for 6 years, so I share a lot of these traits with you guys. All right, so the first personality trait of a poker player is they're intelligent. All right, they're quite intelligent and they're good at analytical thinking. All right, if you weren't intelligent and good at analytical thinking, you probably would steer miles away from poker. All right, you'd be like, I don't want to challenge myself intellectually against other people for money. All right, so generally you've got this intelligence or analytical part of your brain, which is very good. You generally like solving problems and you're competitive. Competitive nature, you probably play games or sports or other things where you can be competitive. All right, so those are like some general things that most poker players, if not all poker players, share in varying degrees. Then there's an element of perhaps you didn't have much success in school or you weren't like a star student. Reason being is when you're good at problem solving and games, generally school's quite boring. School's quite boring. It's more memorizing. It's more memorize this formula or memorize this text to get this grades. And poker players, their brains generally, we want more stimulation. All right, so a lot of us got bored through school, so maybe we weren't A-class students, despite being intelligent. So we've got the intelligence to have succeeded well in school, but we didn't because we didn't apply ourselves. So as a result, we went through school cruising, kind of not putting the effort in. All right, very, very common. A lot of poker players fit into this criteria. I'm somewhat in the middle. I'm not like an extreme outlier, but I'm definitely in this mold where didn't get overly engaged through school. All right, so then you come out of the kind of the education system and you start going into poker. A lot of poker players have a little bit of a chip on their shoulders, all right, because they know they're quite smart, but they haven't had the success through the kind of school validation system to validate them in a way. So poker becomes this quest to, I'm gonna show people what I can do. I'm gonna show people what I've got and how smart I am and I can be successful. Also, I'm gonna show to myself. Now, because you've built up the habit, a lot of poker players have built up the habit of not putting a lot of effort in, that transitions into poker as well. All right, so that's just the pretense of the avatar I want to get you guys to understand. I think a lot of you guys will resonate with that kind of profile of a poker player. We all kind of similar in that way. It's very interesting. I've worked with so many different personality types, but so many players like share this same narrative. All right, it's really, really common, like a bloodline that goes through poker, where we all like we share this like same story in a way. So then, when you go to poker, imagine you're this intelligent, young, you're in your early 20s, maybe early 30s, and you're now going to pursue poker. You know you're quite smart and intelligent. You know you haven't really achieved what your potential is worth because you haven't put it all in, and now you go into poker. What do you think is your greatest fear? What's your greatest fear going into poker? It's hard to uncover, right? But I think that your greatest fear is failing. Your greatest fear is putting it all on the line in something and coming up short. All right, so a lot of players don't want to put it all in. They don't want to put everything into it, their blood, sweat, tears, 100% effort, because what happens if you fail? What happens if you try really, really hard at something and fail? At school, it's fine because you didn't try at school. You coursed at school. Like, you weren't engaged in that. It wasn't your choice to go through that, and you knew you were smart, you just didn't put the energy in. So who cares if you got a B, C, D? Not relevant. But what happens if you tried? What happens if you really, really tried something that you enjoy, like poker, that's stimulating, that's in your line of expertise that you think you're good at? What happens if you failed then? That would hurt, right? So what a lot of players do they don't put it all on the line. They only put it in. They put like 80% or 60% effort in. And then in the back of their minds, they're going, I could really do well at poker if I just put more energy in, but I haven't. It's a cop-out. It's a cop-out to go, I could have success, but I haven't put it all on the line. All right, can you see this? How this could happen? It happens very, very often. Unwillingness to put it on the line and fail. All right. On the flip side, if you did put it on the line and you come up short and you failed, how do you feel about yourself? All right. So this is the biggest fear, is the fear of failure. Not just failure because of money, which you might think is the reason. It's how you think you would feel about yourself because you failed. If you had one example where you only put semi-effort in and failed, your mind can go, I'm still smart, I'm still intelligent, I've still got my self-worth because I didn't try that hard. So that's all. That's the reason. But on the flip side, on this example, if you put it all on the line, everything, and then you failed, where does that leave you? How do you feel about yourself now? How high is your self-worth? All right, this is what we're going to uncover today. So a lot of players are here. A lot of poker players a lot of you guys watching this will be like, yeah, that's me. That's me. I'm not quite putting everything in. And the thing is, like, it's not like you're super conscious of this. You'll just make little excuses. All right, you'll just shortchange yourself in little places. You just won't quite put the full effort in. You'll watch this video and you'll just know intuitively, I could be doing a lot more. I could be doing a lot more, but I'm not. And in the back of your mind, you'll have all these excuses of why you can't. All right, so it's quite hidden, but it's very, very apparent. So I'm gonna run a few examples. So I feel like I like to do like future pacing. Like I think you look at the future and you do thought exercises. All right, and you think about certain outcomes and how they would make you feel. All right. So the first example is, imagine you never put it all on the line. All right. So imagine you go through your life and through poker in particular, and you never put it all on the line. So you're always like that 60 to 80% threshold, but you never go all in because you don't want to fail, try too hard and fail. Now, fast forward, and you're now 80 years old. All right, so you're very old, towards the end of your life. And you've had a decent life. It's been okay. It's been solid. It's been quite all right. And you look back and go, I didn't put it all in. And you look back, you pick up some of your school reports, all right? You pick up some of your school reports and you read them. You're 80 years old and you're reading your school reports and it says, David was a very good student, very smart, very intelligent, but he never put it all on the line. He has so much potential that is fulfilled, but he doesn't put it all in. If only he could try a bit harder. That was your school report. And you read that and you're 80 years old and you say, oh my God, they were right. They were right. I was smart. I was gifted with intelligence. I was gifted with a really good problem-solving brain, but I didn't put it all on the line. And now you've run out of time. Now there's no time. So all this potential that you could have had, it was in there and it got wasted. Now you're at the end of your life and there's no time to make it back. It's done. The potential you were given at birth or whatever, however the potential works, wasted, gone. How do you feel? How do you feel? If you just knew you had a lot of potential, but it's gone now. It's gone. You wasted it. Your life's over now and you wasted it. For me, that is scary. That really hurts, like a lot. Like when I did this exercise myself, I was like, whoa, that would really, if I was 80 and I was looking back at my life that I wasted it, I would really struggle. Like I would, obviously, towards the end of your life, so there's not much life to struggle through, but it's a really horrible thing to think about, all right? But it's a very true narrative that's going to happen to a lot of people, all right? So that's one side. So this is the path you're on right now, a lot of you guys are going to get there, all right? And you have a realization at some point, shit, I wasted my potential. Why? All right? So that's one example, all right? So we're going to bear that, hopefully you guys can do that exercise, never think about this, either during the video, pause it, or do it after, all right? But the next one, I want to do a different example, and I want to show you about why the thing you fear is not, it's like a illusion, all right? So the second example is you get to 80 years old as well. So visualize yourself as 80 years old, and everything you did it 100%. You went all in. With poker, you went 100% all in. You went, give it your all. And most things you tried, you came up short. You came up short of them. You didn't have the success that you wanted. but you know that you did everything you could. You did everything you could, and you really, really put on the line. All right, so you get to 80 years old, you look back in your life, and you know you didn't fail for the lack of trying. You know you squeezed every bit of potential you could out of yourself. How do you think you feel looking back on your life? Do you think you'd be disappointed that you didn't have the success that you wanted? Do you think you'd be disappointed at the external things that you didn't achieve? I don't think you would. Myself, I know I wouldn't. I'd be proud. I'd be proud of myself because I know, no one else knows, like don't worry about the people around you or anything else. You would know with yourself that you gave it your best. That feeling internally is very, very different. So we fear giving our best and failing because we think the external things will be really, really important to us. But if we put it on the line, most likely we would have success anyway, but let's take that out off the table. If we fail, but we put it on the line, we've got a level of ease with that. At first, you might have a little bit, once you're working through this, if you've got your ego and your attachment to external things, you have a bit of work to do on detaching yourself from external outcomes. But if you look back on your whole life and everything you did it all out and you did the best you could, I don't think you would feel bad about that. I think you'd feel proud. I think you'd feel your self-worth would be really high. I think you'd feel good about yourself knowing you put it all in. So with that in mind, if you do, after this video, if you watch do this exercise and think about this for yourself, because I know it's very true for me and it's very true with a lot of the players I'm working with, which path do you want to be on? Do you want to be the path of potential unfulfilled or potential fulfilled, but there's a chance that it might not be as good as you think it is. It might not validate you as much. There's a chance of that, all right? There's a chance you put it all in and it's not quite good enough. You come up short, all right? Which one do you want to go down? And this is really important to think about because if you don't examine this fear, if you don't really come to grips with this, what's going to happen is you're always going to hold back. You're never going to quite put it all in. In anything in life, anything, if you want to have the success, you want to have the growth, the fulfillment, you've got to put it all in. All right? I don't care what it is. I don't care if it's poker. I don't care if it's in the gym. I don't care what it is, relationships. You've got to put it all in. All right? You can't sit that kind of half in, half out. All right? So for you guys, your greatest fear is failing because you think if you try and fail at something, it will damage how you feel about yourself. I want to call bullshit on that narrative and say if you could find a way to get more out of yourself, to put more on the line, you would feel great about yourself. All right. Now, even in bite sizes, we know this is true in bite sizes. All right. So when you go to bed and you procrastinate through that day and you had lots of stuff to do, but you didn't quite get it done. All right. You're wasting time. When you go to bed that night, how do you feel about yourself? For most people, they feel a bit annoyed, a bit of guilt that, oh, I should have done more, I didn't. And they go to bed in that state. That is what happens day after day after day until you get to 80 years old. All right. And you feel that little bit of guilt that you didn't quite do what you should have done. On the flip side, think of a day where you just blasted through it. You literally did everything. Everything you want to do, you got done. Regardless of the outcomes of that day, how do you feel before you went to bed? How do you feel? Most likely you felt quite tired, pretty exhausted, but you felt good about yourself, all right? For me, there's no better feeling than setting out a day plan, executing on that day plan, and going to bed knowing I did my best today. I did my best today. If I know I can do that, and I do magnify that for a lifetime, that's it. That's all I can do. Maybe my best isn't good enough. Maybe my best doesn't take me to where I wanted it to take me to, but I did my best. And knowing that every day is so powerful. So I want this video to be a spark. I want you guys to explore this. And I want you guys to let me know in the comments some things that have came up for you. All right, so hopefully this has got you guys to think of this concept and think of this narrative of fear of not trying. And I want some of you guys to examine how you could put more in. How you could put more in to poker and into life and not care about that fear of failing. Just knowing your best is going to be good enough. All right, guys, drop a like if this was enjoyable for you or if you got some value from it. Do those exercises either now or in your own time and drop a comment below. I love interacting with you guys in the comments and letting me know what your key findings are from these videos. Thanks for watching, guys. There's going to be plenty more coming from me very soon.